Covering Colorado First tonight, nightmares of an armed robbery and having a gun held to your head. Those came from a real-life experience. Well, now 20 years later, CBS 4 was there as the victim and the gunman met. CBS 4's Rick Salinger tells us this involved a very high-profile case and two men with a lot to work out.
The story of Rene Lima-Marin has faded from the headlines since his release from imprisonment earlier this year. But what has recently happened may surprise you. It took a lot of courage for these two people to shake hands.
I'm Jason.
Rene.
Rene Lima-Marin and Jason Kasperek first met 20 years ago at opposite ends of a gun. It was during a robbery of an Aurora video store. Now, after all these years, came their moment of reckoning.
And I apologize for what I did to you. I understand that now, that it was a horrible thing. A horrible, horrible thing, and I wish that I could take it back.
Lima-Marin was arrested and sentenced to 98 years in prison. But in a bizarre twist of fate, he was released 9 decades too early because of a paperwork error. He married and had a family, but 6 years later was sent back behind bars when the error was discovered. Through it all, his wife kept up hope.
We're still keeping full faith in God and just praying that everything works out and that he will come home to us.
A judge found that further prison time would be utterly unjust. The governor then issued a pardon. Lima-Marin eventually won his freedom after a court appeal last spring. He told us then he wanted to express his regrets to that video store clerk who he robbed.
I apologize to him over and over again. Obviously, I'm not able to do it, face to face, but, we're sorry.
He hasn't changed at all. There is no reason for him to be getting out.
If I could get you two guys face to face, is that something you would want?
I'm not sure he would want that.
But each of them did agree to go through months of a state program called restorative justice. After meeting separately with the men, the two facilitators, Lynn Lee and Melissa Westover, brought the men together. At the table, one could almost feel the pain come out.
Even a 98-year sentence for you was shorter than what I'm going to have. Because you guys gave me a life sentence. I still wake up in the middle of the night with a gun to my head. I still have that picture of me on my knees. I still remember when you hit me in the head with the gun and made me slip. I still remember trying to run to that back door.
Since the day of that robbery, Kasperek has been living with a key question on his mind.
I want to know if that gun was loaded.
The gun was not loaded, ever. There was never any intention of hurting anyone. And I don't mean any disrespect to you at all, so please don't take it this way. But I believe that we're seeing things differently because most of what you just explained, I didn't do. You said that I slid the barrel back and that I hit you with the weapon. I never did those things to you.
You did.
Perhaps the passage of time or mental trauma has played a role, but for Kasperek with his fiancée at his side, the events are etched in his mind.
And you had the barrel of the gun to my head. And one thing you asked me is, you said, if I let you live, what do you want to see again? And I sat there and told you, I just want to see my wife and my daughter again. And you said, well, if you do what we say, then you'll get to see them again.
Lima-Marin held fast, saying it didn't happen that way.
The videotape shows me holding the weapon up in the air while you're on your knees, not the barrel to your head.
I'm the victim. You were the one doing everything. So yes, we will see things different. I am just as sure in my recollection of what has happened as he is in his.
I definitely wouldn't say one of us is right and one of us is wrong. We just, people perceive things differently.
Lima-Marin told Kasperek that being locked up had a great impact.
It was going to prison that pushed me towards the Lord. I'm a man of God.
In my eyes, you use the Lord to get yourself out so you can sit there and say, oh, praise the Lord, I'm such a great guy.
None of that was a game. None of that was a joke. None of that was me playing the system. It's who I am.
Lima-Marin was faced with the task of convincing Kasparek that he really was a different man.
It isn't so much about what I say with my mouth, it's about how I live. And I think that he might have, you know, he was able to put all the pieces together, having me in front of him.
You didn't believe he was truly a man of God?
I did not.
What convinced you?
The way that he composed himself and the way that he never turned his face away from me and looked me in the eye the whole time.
Finally, something gave after all these years in the mind of Jason Kasparek.
I am glad that my misery changed your life. And I'm glad that what happened to me helped you.
I'm sorry that it had to happen that way.
Are you glad that you went through this?
Very much so. It was something that helps me and something I believe helps him.
I believe that this is a very therapeutic process and it's needed, you know what I mean? Because it can help both parties tremendously in a lot of different ways. So it was a beautiful thing, honestly.
This will help me. So thank you for being able to come and say that you're sorry and being able to sit here. Because it's just as hard for you as it is for me.
And that is how restorative justice turned anger and pain into warmth and forgiveness.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, brother. You hear me? Yeah. I'm sorry.
A lot of ill feelings seemed to evaporate after many, many years. It went so well, the two have become Facebook friends. Rick Salinger, covering Colorado First.